Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. So, okay, so I don't understand why did Dex come back to Port Charles just for him to leave again? I don't get that. Um, they have an unnecessary lovemaking scene, and then he's like, "All right, well, I gotta go now." And she's trying to convince him to stay. And one of the things that she did sit there and say, one of the things that Jocelyn did sit there and say was, "I don't understand," because also, by the way, Jocelyn was like, I don't think that Jason shot Dante, but yet Sam does. Sam is all but convinced that the person that she spent years with, the person that she wanted having a baby with, she's pretty much like, yeah, he did it. But Jocelyn is like, I don't think he did it. I know he didn't do it. Again, like I said, they pretty much just destroyed Sam's character. But she's not there trying to convince Dex to stay, and one of the things she says is, "I don't understand how somebody like you and Jason can have such loyalty to someone like Sonny, who doesn't really sit there and give it and you know back." Again, I talked about this last night, um, and I'll sit there and say it again. There was a point where Jason asked Sonny, "Hey, listen, I never really asked you for anything. I want you to sit there and leave my sister out of it." But Sonny wanted what Sonny wanted. And he didn't give a damn about Jason's feelings. And he wound up going out with Emily. Because that's the kind of person that Sonny is. Yes, Sonny is a complicated person. He can be kind and sweet and caring and protective. But he can also be very arrogant. He can be very self-centered. And, his definition of loyalty pretty much is when it works out for him. So when she said, she was like, "I don't understand why people like you and Jason give him such loyalty." I'm like, yeah, she's right about that. As much as I don't like Jocelyn at times, she's right about that. Now Nina is on Petra, right? And she's upset with the article um that that was written about Sunny from Alexis. And she's all like, because she's they're trying to repair her dysfunctional, messed up relationship with Sunny, and so she gets all upset with Alexis. Gregory comes in because Gregory wasn't there talking. Gregory wasn't there um, working with Finn about the paper because he can't really write and stuff like that. So there's a bunch of typos and stuff. And he gets back there and he's like, I'm ready to submit my article or whatever. And Nina starts blasting how many like typos and stuff like that from Gregory's paper. Now keep in mind, Alexis got really angry and pretty much was like, "Yo, listen, just get out." But even Gregory was like, "She doesn't know about my ALS, so we, what I'm saying, like, you can't sit there as brash and as whatever as that was. She didn't know." But he does realize that he can't sit there and do the job anymore, so he makes the last, that article the last article. So Nina goes to Dex's place and starts asking him about Sonny. Well, first of all, she goes over there and tries to do damage control. Like, "Hey, listen, whatever happened with that article, I didn't have anything to do with it. I didn't know anything about it. Da, 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 da." And I'm just like, Nina, do you understand how sad and pathetic you are looking right now? Like seriously. Okay, an article was published about Sonny. So what? You're doing your job. Your building is producing that stuff. It's a hot topic right now. I'm pretty sure Sonny is already pissed off at you enough. I don't think that the article is going to be like, "Oh, I was going to sit there and give her a chance, but I had to sit there reading that piece of." No. Nina, well, Jocelyn, takes a stab at her and pretty much like, oh, well, you're a backstabber, whatever. Some sort of comment that she sat there and said. And Nina's like, okay, I can see you're your mother's daughter or whatever. All right. But then she brings up Dex's little dirty thing that he did with Cyrus when he snuck into the hospital in the hospital gown or whatever. And Dex is like, "Oh, what are you talking about?" Like he didn't say anything, but like he was mad silence. And Nina was like, "No, no, 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 no. You can share with the class. Remember that time you practically snuck in Cyrus's office with Cyrus's hospital with that surgical hospital gown or whatever." And Jocelyn turned around and looked at him. Oh, this is after. Oh, I'm telling this out of order. Well, that first of all, that was just funny in itself. But also when she realized that because Jocelyn says something along the lines of, "Oh, Sonny's done with you," or whatever. And then Nina turned around. She's looking at the whole place and it seems all empty. And she's like, "Oh, okay, cool. I guess he's dumping your ass, right?" I was laughing so hard. I was like, Jocelyn, you ain't ready for her. Okay, you may be your mother's daughter, but you ain't ready. I was like, you ain't ready for Nina. Okay, you might want to sit there and kind of work your way up the ladder as far as going back and forth with somebody because Nina, you ain't ready for her. But you see in the previews that she's all angry and outraged. Like I never thought you would sit there and cross that line. And I'm just like, he works for Sonny. What the did you think he was gonna have him do? So when she's all mad and outraged, I'm just like, really, really? Because I'm gonna have fun watching that episode. I'm gonna have so much fun watching that episode. I'm gonna be sitting there roasting Jocelyn tonight in the live stream. I just want to sit there and put that out now so people don't be like, oh my god, no, I'm gonna be sitting there roasting her ass. I am. Because I'm like, I don't know what you thought that Dex was sitting there doing with with the damn Mob King. Like seriously. Um Let me get this straight. You're telling me the reason why Heather's all crazy, Looney Tunes, and just doing all sorts of havoc and everything like that is because she's having metal poison. All right, so that's the reason why she's been all sorts of nut job and just wreaking havoc on poor Charles because she had metal poisoning from her hip surgery. Yeah, I kind of find that to be stupid, but whatever. Um, and she named Laura to help proxy or whatever. She's asking Laura like, "Hey, what should I do? Should I get the surgery? Should I not get the surgery?" And Laura's like, "I don't really know." It's like, Laura, just answer the damn question. Like, stop stretching this scene out longer than it needs to be, right? So she decides to get the surgery. So that happens. Now Marshall and Curtis and Stella and Portia is still trying to find answers from this doctor. So I am, because there's a point where Kevin's like, I could sit and look, no, no, Stella was like, I got good news and I got bad news. And she was like, the bad news is that, that the guy died last Christmas. The good news is that we have the answers pretty much upstairs and they get Kevin to kind of look into it. And long story short, they gather the family around. I think Portia was there. I'm not too sure. But the way Kevin dropped this bomb, right? The way that Kevin dropped this bomb was like, because there was a point where Curtis was sitting there having, his PT and, Marshall was sitting there talking about his experience. At first he was very sympathetic and everything like that. Then he started pushing these expensive medications on him. And Marshall got upset, and that was pretty much kind of just the last time that they really kind of interacted or whatever. So long story short, Kevin was like, he did this to you because you're black. Like it was a bunch of other reasons and stuff like that. Like you were young, you were angry, you're this, you're that. And it was like, I know where he's going. It was one of those things like I know where he's going, and then when he said that, I was like, I'm not gonna lie. There was a certain part of me that was just like that just hit me, for obvious reasons. But it was like, God damn it, I knew it. But yeah, I mean, they really made that reveal like kind of suspenseful as hell, like really kind of like building it up, even though you're just like, I know where you're going with this. You could have just put that as the first reason, but okay, sure, whatever. I guess we got to sit there and build up the suspense. That's fine. I'm not gonna lie, it was all kind of hard, because at some point Gregory did go back and Finn was helping him with the paper and stuff. He thanked him and everything like that. But I'm not gonna lie, there was a part of that scene that was just kind of hard to watch. Um, as a father to sit there and ask their son, or to even ask anyone to do something that they should be able to do, let alone their son, write a paper for him or write an article because he couldn't do it himself physically. That was hard to watch. That I'm not gonna lie, that was actually kind of hard to watch. Um, Finn called up some guy to talk about his dad ALS, and it seemed like he was to ask him for some sort of help, or I don't want to sit there and say a cure or anything like that, but something that can sit there and slow it down. So I'm just wondering, you got this whole love triangle thing going on. Alexis, and I'm gonna get to that in a second. Alexis and Tracy. And I wonder if this guy's going to come back, call back, and be like, hey, listen, it's not going to stop it, but it's going to kind of slow it down a little bit. I wonder if they're going to do that. I don't, now, to be fair, I don't know if there's actually some sort of treatment that can actually slow down the symptoms from ALS, right? So I don't want to sit there and be like, I'm not going to lie. If they pull something like that, that's going to be kind of an insult to people who do have ALS that have suffered from that, sit there and just miraculously found some sort of cure that's not real. But I don't know if there's something that can actually be done, not to cure it, but to kind of slow it down. Now, the last scene is, because Robert was in this episode, I forgot about that. Diane comes to Alexis's job and he's like, the slander piece on Diana Smith is saying Diana Smith they're hooking up with the DA or whatever. She's pissed off. Alexis is pissed off because she doesn't like working with Nina. And Diana's like, all right, I can sit there and do something for you. You can be my partner, and I can sit there and find a way to get that thing overturned. Because she got this bar. It's like I can sit there and work on that, and you could be my partner. And to be honest, I mean the whole publishing thing never really like worked. Always saw her as a lawyer, so her at this time she's going to be, you know, running a paper is just like what? It's just I couldn't see it. So they, like I said, they do get her back into law. I'm here for it. I mean, it's not here's the thing, it's not as out of pocket as on Y&R when Chance went from being a cop to being in business. Yeah, but it's still just like I feel like that's about it. Now I know I know Marshall wants to sit there and get closure, right? He wants to sit there and find out why he did what he did, right? Now part of me was just like, listen, you can't go back and change it. So it's like, what's done is done. It's unfortunate, and it is pretty messed up, but what's done is done. And then I also do sit there and I look at it and I'm like, all right, when they were kids, I understood why he stayed away, right? This guy is like in his late 40s. At some point, you were sitting there thinking, maybe I should go back and see how Curtis is handling things. We want to sit there and talk about, mom's death and stuff like that. Nothing. I mean, he did sit there and make a comment talking about, oh yeah, I was sitting there watching you and this, that, and the third. So you were watching him struggling when he was sitting there going through his rehab of substance abuse, and like you didn't think it was a good time to step in then, like. But again, it's messed up what wound up happening to him, right? But part of me is just kind of looking at that whole situation, and I'm just like, I don't know if that would have made me feel better or made me feel worse. You know, like they say, ignorance is bliss to some extent, right? And so knowing that somebody did something to me specifically because of my color, the color of my skin, part of it would actually make me feel even worse. It would hurt me even more than if I just didn't know and I could just sit there and be like, well, maybe this guy was just incompetent, or I don't know, maybe I just had a certain tone with him and he didn't like my tone, and because, I just had that attitude that day, he decided to screw me over or whatever, you know? But knowing the truth will probably hurt a little bit more. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not saying, well, I can't handle it, but part of it would be like, do I really need to know? Because, I don't know. It's just like knowing the truth now, it just seems like it's just worse. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just like, and it's funny too because one of my subscribers is there saying that maybe he did it, maybe this doctor did it because of his race. Um, Not that I want to sit there and get into the whole race thing or whatever, but I mean, granted we're like screwed over for years, but even in that setting, just getting misdiagnosed. Anyway, I feel like the conversation will probably just turn sideways, so I'm just gonna kind of stop it right now. But I think we kind of understand where I'm going at. So unfortunately, yeah, stuff like that did wind up happening. Anyway, I feel like that's about it. This is 3 minutes over than I planned. I also feel like there's more to sit there and talk about in this episode. This video has already went longer than I planned, so you know what to do. Come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about all the shows, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Bold and Beautiful, Young and Restless. With that being said, I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next video.